Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ATR's War Above the Rings. I don't know, rebranding, whatever you want to call it. Wrestling through the toxicity of the internet wrestling community. I'm your host, Sam the SLV. Alongside me, as always, the third man himself, the man in black, Ethan. We are Bedlam's premier wrestling podcast covering all things WWE worldwide. A lot to talk about. It's been a wild time in wrestling, especially WWE. I will tell you guys right now, I have watched, I don't know when the last time I've watched all three shows for WWE during the week. It's been a while. Even after Mania, I didn't watch NXT afterwards. I kind of watched SmackDown, but that was it. And now, it's going to be weird, Ethan. I'm kind of excited for Raw. Will I watch it? I don't know. And guys, this is going to be a week out. It will be a little later. You know, maybe the timing of this thing, Ethan, maybe if other things happen by the time this drops, and we might have to go back to a weekly format. So guys, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Let's talk about, I don't know, where do you want to start on Raw?
Ooh, there's so much good stuff. The Wyatt 6. We'll just go with there.
The Wyatt 6. Is that what we're calling? Is it the Wyatt 6?
Yeah. It's like SI. I forget the actual spell, but it looks like what I see online, it's like 6, like sick, like cough, like SICK, and then they had like the number 6.
So Sean Waltman's return confirmed. Got it. Dude, this was really, and again, by the time I'd watch this, I think a day or two had gone by. And even though I knew everything that had happened, I'd seen the screenshots, I'd seen photos, a little bit of snippets. I still got chills.
So do I. And like, it's crazy how like when they were showing the angles, like of the people like who were on the ground, some people say it was like Carmelo Hayes and Gunther and Triple H and stuff, but it wasn't. It was a bunch of extras on the. I think Gabe was like the only like actual like roster member to like get a tag, but everyone else was extra workers. I'm like, one guy did look like Gunther though. I was like, is that Gunther? And then people were like, no, that's an extra. I'm like, if Gunther has a brother, I mean.
Yeah, I was wondering. There was one other person I thought I saw on the ground, but I did like the layout of all this. I like how they did it. I know it was long. It did feel a bit long. But I think it was on purpose. It had been like the longest. I mean, how long has he been gone now? Over a year? Year?
Bo Dallas or?
No, Bray.
Yeah, I think let me look it up real quick. I think it's been a year, but let me just double check that just be brave.
Yeah, so we've been doing these promos for a while now, and now we've gotten
August 24th, 2023 when he passed away. So a year in August there.
Wow. So everything from the Smoke and Nikki Cross, I was wondering where she's been, but it was cool. They all do it one at a time. They all came out very slow, very, very horror, uncomfortable. And as you went down the line, I mean, everyone figured who it was, I think, by the time the show had ended. Everyone involved, between obviously Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis,
Eric
Rowan. Had everyone figured out. I know they're called 6. I'm going to assume, and I could be wrong, I want to assume, with the little I know of what's been going on, that the 6 is referencing Bray being the 6th member, unless they do plan on bringing the 6th member in.
Yeah, I think it's Bray. I see some people say like it should be Alexa Bliss, but honestly, do you really do they really want like Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss to like not? I guess if Nikki Cross is like sister Abigail, like Alexa Bliss could be like the that dark gimmick she was doing years ago. You know what I'm talking about there.
Yes.
Basically, she could be like the Lily, I guess.
Yeah, She could be. I think you could bring her in. It would be interesting because usually factions, and this is just how it's been since forever. It's been a bunch of dudes, and then you get the one girl. Whether you want to consider him a valet or just an extra wrestler, whatever. That's how it's been. So to have another female in this, I'm not against. I'd be curious to see if they went that route. But I've seen some things about. I think Jim Cornette said this is the worst thing that he had seen from WWE in a while.
Oh, geez.
And this is what Tony Khan needed to get some momentum.
Cool, Jim.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey guys, I'm gonna get a little more aggressive now since we've been having gripes with the IWC. You know who you are. Tell me right now.
Like I get, like I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Like, don't get me wrong. Like everybody's got their own opinion. Like we don't have to like everything to say, but like, let's be honest, it's Jim Cornette.
Yeah. No, and I honestly, the one thing I hope they don't do, because I know AEW's been subject to it, and I know Triple H is in charge. Triple H, WWE's been subjected to it. I don't want this big reveal, and then they have one feud, and then they become cannon fodder.
I hope not, but it's like I heard they started doing the QR codes, and honestly, like I thought the QR codes like I always miss like the graphic, like the picture. Like honestly, I just go on Twitter and look because honestly I'm kind of lazy. Like not beside like I missed the code, but also because honestly I really didn't feel like doing it. So, but after a while, I was like, okay, like can we just get to the debut, please? I was just getting tired of like the QR codes and really like, all right, can we speed this up a little bit now?
Yeah, no, this I wasn't obviously watching to see that all transpire. So I did notice it at the beginning though. At the beginning of Raw, something quickly happens.
I think when Drew was walking, I think it was beginning where Drew was like walking. I think he was coming from the park, like backstage. They did a few times. Like I remember Drew. Oh, it wasn't the beginning of Raw. Sorry, it was like the middle where we'll get to him in a minute. Actually, speaking of Drew, but basically spoiler, like he was walking and then like it went almost like staticky, and then I think like the graphics like see you later. I forget what the actual wording said, but basically it was hinting like they're gonna come sooner or later. I'm like, oh, they go after is Drew gonna be the first one? I'm like, no, wait, that don't make any sense. But I thought the debut was, I mean, Nikki Cross, that was cool though. I like the way she came out, and then like the camera guy. It's almost like you ever been to like haunted house during Halloween? And
exactly.
Mm-hmm. I was like that, and then it took me because I mean Eric Rowan, like I saw his tattoos first, and then he had the not a hammer. What's the word I'm thinking of? Oh my god, what's the word? Mallet. That mallet, like a mallet, and it said hope. Oh, it's like okay, little Easter egg, like Bludgeon Brothers, and then I think Dexter. I think he was sitting on the crates. I think the first one, and then Joe Gacy was like on the floor, go like till head creepy. I'm like, okay, took me a second, but I was like, oh, Joe Gacy, okay, and then I'll get how Jack Gable looked like he just got shot in the side of the head. And he said, why?
Yeah, I like that. Then I like how they got to Bo, and he started walking forward, and then everyone started following it. And then they have the lantern, which definitely is going to be there. It's not going to be there. It's Bray. It's going to be a representation of him. No, I'm excited, and I'm going to say this again. This is going to be late by the time this drops compared to what's going on. I'm excited to see where this goes. I've always been a big fan of Bray. I felt like, and we say this all the time on the show, Ethan, I think Bray is the one who should have ended the streak. He should have been the guy who stepped in with Undertaker retiring and becoming the next, whatever you want to call it, supernatural force.
So yeah, but like honestly, like if Bray wasn't gonna do it at 31, I was at 32, but that was Shane. Like if it wasn't gonna be Bray, like I think Roman would have been the next. Like honestly, like Brock didn't really need it, to be honest with you, because he's already made star.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember, like I was listening to interviews. We'll just go on Taker Street for a second. Like I remember Edge was on Impossible. It's Monday. I got Monday brain. And basically he said like I guess they told him that he was gonna end the streak, but he's like I respect like I'm not ending his streak. And then they went to Orton at 21. Well, Orton was first, and then same thing that Edge and or Copeland. Like I respect Taker too much. Like I can't end a streak. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, it was definitely something that we could talk. That's one of the. You want to talk about a real heist? Seth Rollins didn't do that Mania, but who was supposed to take the streak? There you go. That's a good Dark Side of the Ring episode. Who should have taken the Undertaker streak? But regardless, looking forward to this. Now, and I'm trying to recall, I have SmackDown more fresh in my memory because I had just watched it today. But I'm trying to remember. The big thing that I remember happening, well, two big things. I remember, we'll talk about Drew. Drew came out, supposed to do a promo, and I quit. I know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we have to sneak right into SmackDown now. Because obviously this didn't last long. It was like, okay, he quit. There's always something going on when something like this happens. And then Drew shows up on SmackDown and takes out Punk.
That was beautiful.
Drops. This is what I'll say between this bit and the bit with Bo and Gang. It's gonna take me a while to remember the group. Less is more. In both scenarios, nobody had to say anything. Obviously they had the interview going on with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. They
Sorry, Sam. I didn't mean to cut you off. It was like DIY and Greg. They were arguing, and then like they heard the banging.
Yes.
And then they were still arguing, and then I think that was a worker. I think he opened it slowly because there was a random dude that just walked right by the camera while they're arguing, and he just opens up the garage door, and it's like slow, like almost like, oh, okay, like, oh shit, what's going on? Because you think someone's coming in, right? And next thing I know, CM Punk's just, I'm like, the fuck? And then Grace, I don't know if it was Grace or Tommaso, I was like, whoa. And then Drew, but Drew had to do that though.
Yeah, but he picked him up and he brought him to the front and he walked out.
Oh yeah.
Really, I don't know the timeline with CM Punk getting cleared at this point. It's good to see him on television. This is something AEW should have done when he got injured, because I feel like he wasn't, like, he had that big injury and then they kind of like, yeah, go home and rest. Whereas I think WWE's been pretty good with, hey, we're going to kind of like, yeah, he's going for, whatever he needs to get done, but he's going to be here.
Make all this another.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I want to also mention the crowd in Austin was fire, and the crowd in Chicago on Friday was fire.
Oh yeah, one of the best Raw and SmackDown episodes in a while. So probably like before Main. Excuse me, but back to the Punk and Drew for a second. It's funny how Nick Aldis came out. He's like, dude, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he didn't say that, but like, he like pushed him. I was like, ooh, and then Drew's like, get your fucking hands off. And it's funny. So, like, in Canada, like, I have Fox and Sportsnet, so I can watch SmackDown either or. But I watch a bunch on Sportsnet because why not? Unless there's a hot game, like unless there's like sports going on, then I watch on Fox. But really, I just watch it on Sportsnet. So apparently on the Fox, like, channel, they didn't censor it. Like, the censor guy, let that one slip. But on Sportsnet, they censor it. I was like, but I could sometimes relips, and I could see from his like, don't fucking touch me. I was like, ooh, Drew. But he had to do that though, because I mean, like, Punk fucked him over in the world at his home, like, actual hometown, well, home country, but still. So I was like, Drew, like, if you don't do this, and A, what the fuck are we doing? And B, Drew looks like a bitch. I'm gonna go hide now before he kicks my ass. But I thought that was great, and I like how Punk had a bracelet on. I think it's like AJ and Larry, like his wife and dog. And Drew looked over, and he just put it in his pocket. I was like, okay, I like that little touch there. Like, since you took the world title shot away from me, I'm taking something that means something to you. So,
yeah, it was. This is all everything here is definitely lining up for the rest of the summer. I think SummerSlam's going to be a big show.
Oh yeah,
Like, especially since it's a two night event.
that's next year, not this year. Or no, wait. No, I think it's 2026. No, this year's not 2 nights. It's I think when they go to Minnesota, it's the Minnesota SummerSlam.
Oh yeah. That's because of they lost. What's it called?
WrestleMania.
Mania. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, "Fuck you, we felt bad. Here's your second prize, Summers."
Yeah.
I mean, in a way though, they kind of did them dirty though. In a way though.
Yeah, because they weren't they set? I think just before Mania, they were like, "Yeah, Minnesota's getting this."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
And they're like, "Fuck you, we're."
But I'm
fuck
wondering.
you.
Sorry, go for it.
I was gonna say, like when they went to Philly, I'm like, "Oh, you guys did them so fucking dirty." I felt so bad for Minnesota. Oh well, at least they're getting SummerSlam, which I mean, that's the second biggest show. That's like their summer WrestleMania, I guess. Summer Mania. I don't know. But
yeah, and so I'm assuming okay, so that's next year. And then the year after that's probably Indianapolis because they just did that big deal for Mania, SummerSlam, and Royal Rumble. Yeah. But regardless, I think SummerSlam's gonna be huge this year. With everything that's been going on. I mean, the other thing is we still have what was the bit with Chad that had happened that night?
On Raw?
Yes.
Okay, so he had a rough night, man. So Monday he basically got his ass whipped by Braun Strowman for like 6 minutes. And then Otis was like, "I'm tired of your shit. I'm pushing you." Like basically, like I'm leaving. Excuse me. And then, oh, I guess I'm eating dinner before podcasting.
I did the same thing and I'm fine.
Shut up, Sam. Anyway, oh, he was, and it's funny. So they announced he was gonna be in the Money Bank qualifying match. This is so fucking confusing. Against Braun Strowman and Braun Reed, beef, and then he got attacked by Wyatt 6. So Ely Drive's like in his spot, and then they announced that on Main Event Thursday, like on they taped that show before Raw, and then I think right before SmackDown, Peter's like, "Yeah, Gable's back in." Like, what?
Yeah, but it's good. He's definitely been on fire. He had an awesome match. I mean, match of the night at Clash of the Castle. So,
oh yeah, with Sammy, yeah. I was like,
I'm literally sitting here having this conversation with you, and I'm like, what the fuck happened on Raw? I'm drawing a huge blank.
So we had a couple qualified match for Money in the Bank. They had they're all doing triple threats, by the way. So on the women's side, they had Io beat Kiana and Sam was muted.
What about now?
There we go.
Awesome.
You went muted. That was weird. You went muted for a second. But anyway, so basically Io qualified for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I gotta look now. Why is my brain?
It is fried because it's funny because I had sat here. I'm like, this is gonna be a good one to talk about, and I'm like, I don't remember. It was.
One sec. I'll run down the first all right quick. Oh no, it's been a week. Like okay, last week where were they at? Corpse Chris. All right, so Bronster beat Gable, and then the first of two Mighty Bank triple. So on the women's side, Eve Sky beat Slayback and Kiana James. Carlito beat Dragon Lee. Kataja's K Card beat Damage Control. Sheamus beat Braun Breaker, and Jey Uso was the first to qualify for the men's Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
by
so
beating Balor Ray.
Yep, so we got qualifiers, and that's going to happen throughout the next couple of weeks.
They did 3 on SmackDown. Well, SmackDown's 2 hours, so you kind of had to. And then tonight, well, as we're recording tonight, but once this drops, we know the 3 Raw. They're doing so Gable, Strowman, and Reed are the men's side, and on the women's side, it's Laurie Fakaria, Shayna Baszler, and Kairi Singh. And on SmackDown, like this Friday coming, or once this drops, it's already Pat. We would know the SmackDown side. It's LA Knight, Logan Paul, and Santos Escobar on the men's side. And then on the other 2 women's sides, it's Jay, Tiffany, and Candice on one, and then Blair, Davenport, Naomi, and Indy Hartwell for the other women's. So basically, by next week, we would know the SmackDown side of the Money in the Bank. And to be honest, I like how they're doing 6. To be honest with you, I mean, we talked about this at the post show, but like 8, like yeah, it was a lot of bodies, but like I can put up with it. It's like okay, 8, like a little too much, but I could let it slide. But I find anything more than 8's like okay, like whoa.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing I thought about. Didn't we open the night with Damian Priest
Yeah,
and Seth
yeah,
Rollins? Yeah, we had that. We're getting that at Money in the Bank. So
yeah. Like how Rollins was like, I want to win briefcase again because he won in 2015, and then Priest like, yeah, you don't get to go for that. I'll give you a title shot because I like how they brought this back. How because when Rollins won the world title from in that tournament from AJ at Night like last year, Priest was the first challenger for him. So I was like, okay, a little kind of full circle, I guess. Even though technically, Priest has already this be his 3rd defense. I'm talking TV, not how it shows, because honestly nobody sees him unless you're there, right? So, but
yeah,
TV wise, this is like his 3rd or 4th um, title defense. So, but I mean, hey, look, Seth Rollins comes back first night back. Yeah, I want my. Well, technically, I mean, Rollins can technically catch his rematch clause because he did lose at WrestleMania. So, I mean, because I see people like, why is Rollins getting the title shot? It's like, bro, he lost the title. He has the right to cash in his rematch.
yeah. No, I'm definitely excited for this one. I'm drawing a blank because I'm also thinking about NXT. NXT had a lot going on.
Do you believe in Joe Hendry, Sam?
That's right. We had kicked off that battle royale we had. Joe Hendry came out, and we had Frankie Kazarian in there as well. I don't know. Was there any other TNA talent I'm missing?
Nope, that was the only 2. It was funny. So on Twitter, Sean caught us for the Frankie one, and I said to you and Scott in the group chat. So basically, they did the battle royal entrance like on I think Instagram Live. They did on social media, like you know how AEW on Rampage they do their entrances sometimes for the first match, and by
Yes.
the time Rampage comes on air, like on TV, it's like competitors in the ring. So basically, they did the entrance for the battle royal until Joe Hendry came on the air, and it's like he got such a big reaction that the car cam shook, and then he got eliminated first.
Yeah. Yeah. That was cool. That was something where, and we don't really. I guess we don't know if there's anything else happening in the next couple of weeks with NXT and TNA.
Joe Hendry did tease like come back like for Heat Waivers because Heat Wave's gonna be in Toronto that Sunday after Money in the Bank, so the following night. So which is weird because mostly you go NXT and then the main pay per view, not like vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare the actual, or it's rare I should say. I shouldn't say they don't do it all the time. It's rare when they do the main pay per view first and then NXT because mostly, like I said, it's NXT and then main roster back in the Black and Gold days. But I heard people on Twitter went ape shit over Joe Hendry being eliminated first because remember Brian Danielson or Daniel Bryan he got eliminated in 2015, 14.
I think.
No, 15 Rumble because 14 he wasn't in it because Ray came out number 30 and people were like, boo, boo Ray. I'm like, oh no, poor Ray.
That was the one where Ray won and people didn't want Ray to win.
No, he came out. No, they wanted Daniel Bryan come out number 30, but Ray was the 30th entrant and people booed because they didn't get Bryan because he was in the opening match and then didn't enter the Rumble and then Batista won that one year and people didn't like Batista. So, well, him winning, but that's
All right.
different story.
All right. Word. So, I'm really curious though if we got anyone else coming. Again, I think NXT. I wish Scott was here for this conversation because Scott, I think, miss you, buddy. Wish you were here. I might have to watch everything this week for a second time in a row, second week in a row, everything, because there's so much going on. Not say AEW doesn't. Obviously, AEW, they have their own forbidden doors. But the fact that the E has their doors open,
which is I actually thought that's like AEW. Like I actually kind of got numb to it because you know how Forbidden Doors was like every like AEW do basically AEW and their partners but pretty much like we see it all the time. Like even before Forbidden Doors season, it's like we see it constantly. It's like, dude, take a little break from other promotions. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad to see them, but focus on your own roster first. And then when it's Forbidden Door season, like, okay, then bring the other people from the companies.
Yeah, no, especially it is nice. They do have a lot of talent still that they kind of like set on the side. So I would want to give some of those people the forefront. Again, just a critique. I think if you make Forbidden Door feel more special, especially at this point, they own like the whole New Japan roster for like the past 5 years.
The only people that Tony Khan never got was Tama Tonga, which honestly, I'll be honest, that's a great. I think him going to WWE was a good move, honestly.
I think with the storyline, and we're going to get into this when we get into SmackDown, which I want to talk about next. It is a good call. I have some things I think we want to talk about with that, which I'm trying to think. Before we get into it, obviously we had CM Punk come out. He had his promo. We had Paul Heyman come out. I don't know if I'd ever seen Paul Heyman come out with a CM Punk during a CM Punk promo since he came back. I mean, this is really his first time to address CM Punk, especially in Chicago.
Second at the I believe. Don't fully call me on that because I know. Excuse me. It was fine though because like people were saying we want Roman Punk's like you're the only guy I know that would get in my hometown. We want Roman chance, and then he was like, "What's the favorite name?" Hey, poor Paul Heyman, man. I mean, he's playing this great. He's like, "Take me with you."
He was very. Oh man, he was so convincing. He was just like, man, Paul, you're pulling at my heartstrings right now. He wants out. He wants out. Imagine, man. Too bad there's not a show coming up in Chicago for a pay per view. That would be quite the thing for a reunited between those two.
Even for one night only, like, because I see people like, oh, they gotta bring Punk and pay. Like, honestly, like, does Punk really need Heyman again? No, but it'd be cool for like a one night kind of thing. Not like all the time. Because I remember it's funny. I forgot about this, but Heyman said the Roman. I guess Roman to Punk is the only guy like they won't like touch because obviously Heyman and Punk are best. Which I actually kind of forgot they must have mentioned that like briefly like years ago. I think when he first came back. Which was last November. Oh, why I say years ago, but you know what? People know what I mean. Survivor Series, but it was just like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Wasn't Punk the wrestler where the term Heyman guy came? I'm a Heyman guy.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Because Paul Heyman was just always in and out of TV. And then I feel like when Punk came around, and again, I wasn't really watching during this time, but I've picked up it's when Punk was there that term was coined around that time period.
Yeah, it was like yeah, you might. I think he said it once. I can't remember. I have to go back and again. I got Monday brain today, and whatever. I don't need to get the rest of it, but yeah, like it was funny. Like before that, he asked for that favorite. I like how he gave him a hug. I was waiting for Excalibur. I almost sound like Excalibur, be like, "Give the people what they want."
No, exactly.
I was waiting. I don't know why. Like he hugged him and Punk's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Dude, you just said 2 minutes ago his balls in Chicago," and then he gives him a hug. By the way, I don't know how they were. I seen a few people wearing sweaters and shit. Like, I was like, how the fuck are you wearing like suits and long sleeve shirts in the summertime?
Especially with this heat wave that just came through. I
was like, holy fuck. Mostly I go up in my office, but I'm like, I'm coming into my basement. It's the coolest place in the house right now.
Yeah, I don't know. But the Punk thing was very big. Like you said, we got a couple more qualifiers. I feel like I was missing something else. Chelsea Green took the steal to join the Money in the Bank.
I love that. I can't remember who the Twitter person was. I follow him on Twitter. I can't remember who was, so I do apologize for not giving you credit. But basically, he made edits like he's like, "This is how this triple threat's gonna end." And it was Michin and Itafi and Bianca Belair, and Chelsea was gonna hit her finisher on Michin. He was close. He was super close on that. Because one of the spots was like Michin hit Bianca with the eat the feet, and then Chelsea rolled Michin up for a 2. I was like, oh shit, that guy actually got that right. and then Micha breaks up the Styles Clash. I'm like, see, I got Bianca broken up, but that's one move you should not kick out of, unless it's like WrestleMania or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but yeah, especially if that's her. That's not. I mean, yes, I know it's become a move that everyone uses. But man, yeah, that's like somebody using the one winged angel and then somebody kicking out of it. If you're gonna get somebody to kick out, make sure it's not somebody else's. But regardless, also, now I'm thinking about it. We had two swerves like that during the two of the qualifiers, because I didn't even think about the same thing. Pretty much happened with Carmella, where he got in. I didn't think he was gonna win that. I was like, yeah, he's just cannon fodder for this one.
He's a pet eater, yeah.
But he was not shocked.
Good. Well, I mean, Randy Orton and Tama Tonga are feuding. Well, the Bloodline's feuding with Orton and KO, but so it kind of makes sense. Like, honestly, like, Randy Orton doesn't really need the break. I mean, he won a year 2013. He don't really need it. And Tama Tonga, like, he's still kind of new, and I don't really see him in that match. Really, I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I think what I'm thinking is I think they're gonna do a 6-man tag between the Bloodline, like Solo and like throw two out either the Girls of Destiny. Yes, I'm still gonna call them Girls of Destiny. Leave me the fuck alone. Or like take like Tama Tonga and I'll just say now Jacob Fatu against Cody, Orton, and KO, because KO lost his triple threat qualifying match to Andrade. By the way, that ending of the match, I really like that spot where Grace was gonna go for his rolling stunner, and Andrade catched him and hit the message. I was like, oh, okay, that was a cool way to end that match.
No, yeah, it was. It was.
The speed champion Andrade, sorry, the speed champion.
The big thing that we need to talk about was the I don't want to say insurance policy, but Solo's plan. I do love how Solo seems to be taking charge, if you will, of the bloodline. And I know this has been rumors, and at this point everyone knows, but we had Jacob Fatu come out.
Yeah, finally.
Finally. The crowd seemed a little lukewarm, it seemed.
It took a few minutes. They're like, because like I'll be honest, like Jacob Fatu. Sorry, I swear I'm not trying to cut you off. Like when Jacob Fatu was running, like he wasn't like I'm not fat shaming, I swear, but like he was thick. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was like a little
Ripped.
heavier, but not. Yeah. Oh, excellent. But when I joke, I see other people come there saying like, oh, he did the WWE die because I'm like he fucking slipped. I almost didn't recognize for a second. I was like, did he turn around? Oh, Jacob, yeah, let's go.
I had to think about it too because I'm like, wasn't he heavier? Wasn't, and then I'm like, man, he got shredded to get here.
I mean, like he wasn't like big. Like he was like a little beer belly, honestly. Like,
yeah.
The best. I swear, I'm not. People are gonna be like, "Oh, you're fat shaming." I'm not fat shaming because I'm not skinny either. So, but I was like, "Holy fuck!" But like, someone, a friend of mine, Joe, tweeted at me or text me. He's like, "Did Jacob Fatu drink like 5 energy drinks before getting out there?" Because he was like, "Ah!"
Yeah. No, he came out and dude, did he destroy? Who did he put through a table?
Cody. So he super kicked Orton first.
Yes.
And then Owens KO super kicked him, and Jacob's like, well, Samoans. Fuck this, I'm not selling it. Boom, super kicked him. And Kevin Owens doing it. Or he closed on it. He did something, and Owens, Owens does his crutch screw bump, I call it. And then he ran around he hit Smojo and KO on the steps. Paul Heyman's like, oh god, more of them. Oh my god. And I felt bad for Orton's back because so Jacob I'm not blaming any of these guys. So he speared him for the timekeeper's area. By the way, that spot needs to go away for a bit. It's almost like every match that goddamn barricade gets broken. So when he speared him, like it didn't fully break. Like it probably went like this, like a crack. And I was like, oh, poor Orton's back, man. And I'm like, and then the height he got on that splash from the top rope for the announce table, I was like, holy shit. That fucker flew.
Yeah, no, it was
like that was like Logan Paul like height, like crown jewel height. Sorry, but I was like, whoa. and somebody in the crowd, I think like if this was like I think they're like the first row above the floor. I mean, you've been in the fence, you know what I'm talking about. Say like those
Yep.
kind of like seats there. Someone, I think they were like second or third, but anyway, he was filming like from a point of view, and and on his side, I forget who the person was, so I do apologize. Otherwise, I give you full credit. He he filmed Jacob flying. I was like, whoa, he looks higher from the fans' camera side than he did when the actual TV camera was like showing him. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. That's like Montez Ford shit. But I'm so glad.
No,
I'm so glad.
it was, man, this whole Solo, especially the thing I think we need to talk about here is I think we're gonna see a feud within the bloodline when Roman comes back, whenever that is. Because Solo did make that comment to Paul. He goes, I don't know if anyone told you, Roman's not coming back. So
that was before his main event, yeah, because him and Cody. By the way, it was a main event, but it was more of an angle than a match. Like the match went like 2 minutes.
These are the times where, and I know we criticize WWE for doing this a lot, where there's a lot of interference, especially during main events.
In this case, I didn't mind. This one gets the exception.
This is how it's done when you have somebody new coming in and you want to make a big deal out of it. This is incredible. This was an awesome angle. So now this is my theory. With that statement in mind, he's not coming back. All right. He's not part of the bloodline anymore. Kind of that's what the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah.
At some point, Roman's going to come back, and Solo's not going to move. I think Solo's going to stick his feet in. He's like, where have you been?
Like I've been doing it. Another one I see people talk about, like The Rock is behind like the Solo head of table stuff. So you get The Rock, Solo, like all them, and then you got the OG with the Usos, Roman, and some people say Sami Zayn, but honestly, I think Sami doesn't need to go back to that.
Well, this is what I was going to get to. So I think it's going to happen where, they're going to probably go after, it's going to lead to where Roman and the Usos are going to team back up.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen where the three of them are going to be like, it was us from day one. This is us. And then the bloodline or the new bloodline wolf pack, whatever you want to call it, they're not going to budge. Eventually get that fourth member. I think this is Survivor Series. This is War Games.
It's gotta be. It has to be.
Like, this is gonna be the bloodline civil war in War Games. And if it hasn't been talked about yet, this is what I want. This is what needs to happen. And whether you, like you said, if The Rock's behind Roman going, cool. Move Jacob over to the other side so it's equal. Or maybe The Rock's there, but he's not going to wrestle at War Games. I don't know. Pick somebody. Like you said, pick somebody. Who just got signed? Or who else are they going to sign? It was another, maybe Hikuleo. Or was it Umaga's son?
Oh, so he wrestles in
Reality
and GCW a lot. And if anybody who hasn't seen him, he looks like his father. I mean, it's like because Maven does a video like YouTube, and he was backstage at the GCW. I think one of the LA shows. Anyway, or some other. Basically, he was backstage with Cell, and he's like, "Man, I miss your pops." And I was like, "Holy!" And because Cell was like, I was like, "Man, he really does look like his dad." Because I didn't really see him up close at first. I was like, "Holy fuck, he does look like Umaga." I mean, obviously it's his kid, but you know what I'm trying to say there. But I'm like, Silva too. I mean, that guy can wrestle. I mean, his finisher is literally a Superman Simone spike. So he runs, and then does Simone spike, like he almost like a Superman punch, but instead of the punch, he spikes him. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll have to see. I might have to. I know GCW's coming back. I think GCW's coming back around.
GCW's coming back. I'll have to. I forget what show it is, but I'll let you know about that one. And then MLW's going.
MLW. TNA's doing some tapings at the fairgrounds in August. That's what I want to go to. I've never been to a TNA show. I've never been to an MLW show either. So I probably should go to both of those.
You should.
But regardless, yeah, this is I'm actually dumbfounded. I'm actually pretty shocked. I don't know where any of this is going, but I'm intrigued. And I know a lot of people for a while have been wondering where I've been on the WWE train. Time and interest. And now, what's that line from Django Unchained?
Oh,
The one that
I heard
Leonardo DiCaprio says is like, "You had my curiosity, now you have my interest," or something like that.
I heard that before, but it's something like that. Or it's the other way around. Or curiosity kills the cat. It's some along those lines. I can't believe somebody will correct us somewhere.
Yeah. So this is where I'm at. And even with NXT, I'm just like, can't not watch it. Hell, even it's really weird. Talk about wrestling as a whole. Even Collision. I've watched Collision the past couple of weeks, and Collision doesn't get the love it deserves. It's actually pretty solid. It actually seems to flow a little better than Dynamite.
Yeah, like honestly, like this past Saturday's Collision. Well, as we're recording this, got reference for that. It wasn't too bad. Like it wasn't. I mean, it was taped, so obviously most of the time tape shows kind of suck. But it wasn't like there was a few good matches. But I'll let you know which ones are good after if you did watch it. But back to the bloodline stuff for a sec. Can you see them doing 5-on-5 war games, or do you think like they do 4-on-4 like let's say like the new bloodline is solo, excuse me, God, and like we'll just say Jacob Fatu, and then the OG be Roman Usos and to be determined.
I think it could be 5-on-5, but I honestly think you pretty much have 7, and I would want to kind of keep it within the bloodline.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking a 4-on-4, unless you somehow manage to get a couple of, Samoans just hanging around, that you can do the 5-on-5.
Oh my god, this bloodline storyline is gonna go forever because I seen that meme. I meant to share it to you. It was like this bloodline's gonna go on forever because Roman's got like 5 kids, Jimmy's got like 3 or 4 kids, Jay's got 2 to 4 kids, Jacob Fatu's got fucking 7.
Yeah, just like French Catholics, they just continue, to populate.
Don't get all right. If we get cancer, that's on Sam's fault.
I'm just spitting facts here. Tell me when I'm telling lies. So yeah, no, I'm intrigued. I want to see, but I'm thinking Survivor Series is War Games, Bloodline Civil War, or Samoan Series. We'll call it Samoan Series at that point.
I mean, you're not fully lying. I mean, honestly, like if they are doing like I know they got to do women's and like men's War Games matches because Survivor. Well, actually, did they do one last year? I can't remember now. But anyway, like honestly, I think this year, like if there's not a big enough women's feud for the War Games, I think like take a year off for the women's and then just do strictly the Samoan series match. I'm just gonna call it that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Just if there's not a big enough feud, because like remember when Hell in the Cell was pay per view, they're like, oh, it's October, Hell in the Cell time. All right, you two get in the cell.
Yeah, that was a big problem. That's one thing. Again, I'll jump back and forth. Like AEW, they've always been good with like when's Blood and Guts. Like it just comes around. They do it once a year. It's around the same time, but you kind of forget about it because it's not a pay per view.
No, it's a special Dynamite. This year it's I think it's the last Wednesday of July, I believe.
Yeah, but also like Survivor Series was starting to feel that way. It was very forced. It was like, oh, but Survivor Series now we're gonna attack other people on the other brands, even though we're best buddies with them.
Or like they do the draft in October, and let's say if I was on Raw and I'm just gonna use SmackDown because I got blue on. Like I just came from Raw, and then they're like, get on Team SmackDown. It's like I just got here. I just transferred. Like what? Like that's one thing I hated about the Survivor because I remember for a lot I was like, oh, here we go, this bullshit interpromotion crap again. Now there's been some bangers. Don't get me wrong. Like Shield, the Shield in New Day, that was a banger. I remember in 2019 they did the NXT, like Raw, SmackDown versus NXT. There was a lot of bangers on that show.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I don't know. But I'm glad they're not doing that into promotion. But like last year, I could have, or like even this year WrestleMania, like I could have seen they like a Team Pierce versus Team Aldis thing. Like remember when they were kind of beefing? Like I'm gonna be the better show. Well, I mean obviously GMs and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind because obviously it's Pierce and Aldis by like one of the top 2 best GMs since Regal.
I mean, honestly, some of the original, if I'm not mistaken, I've gone back and looked at some of the older Survivor Series cards, and there was a point where all Survivor Series was these multi-man tags.
Yeah, Survivor Series. I remember one year, I think it was like the early '91s. I remember they did like the sole survivors of each match goes to the main event. I think they call it Ultimate Survivor or something like that. Like I thought that would be kind of cool to bring that back in a way. Almost not really a tournament, but you know what I'm trying to get at. Like, okay, the winners of this match go to the Ultimate Survivor match, and it was like 3 babyfaces against like 5 or 6 heels. I'm like, oof.
Yeah. So looking at the first one, there was 4 matches, and this is again 87. So 87, 88, 87. So again, it's been almost 30, way over 30 years. Oops.
Yeah, like 32, 33. My bad, could be off.
35.
Over 30. Oh, okay. I was
No,
way.
wait a minute, 30. I'm not doing math right now. This is not a math show. But there's 4 matches. There's 3 5-on-5s and 1, 10-on-10 Survivor Series tag match. So
was that
I
all
think
the tag teams in that one?
What?
Was that all the tag teams in that 10-on-10 one? I think that was all the tag teams.
Yeah, British Bulldogs, the Killer Bees, the Fabulous Rougeaus, Strike Force, the Young Stallions defeated the Bolsheviks, Demolition, the Dream Team, the Hart Foundation, the Islanders, and the Islanders. All right. So, regardless, either way, going back to what we were talking about, I think Survivor Series is going to be the end game for this, or at least the next big. SummerSlam is going to be huge in its own right. Obviously, we have LA Knight and Logan Paul starting to play out.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to talk about, especially how the show has been this last week, there was something that was announced on the Pat McAfee show recently. Triple H said that they will not have to worry about censors with Raw on Netflix.
Good.
And to me, I'm just like, sign me up.
I can't wait for Seth Rollins to be like, Seth fucking Rollins.
If this is how good the product is now imagine we're on streaming and, oh yeah, you have way more freedom and you don't have to worry about TV censors.
Nope. Especially, I remember when Raw came back, I think one of the first SmackDown appearances. Do you remember when somebody held the song literally "Die Rocky Die"?
Yep.
So literally on Sportsnet they didn't censor it, but on the or they might have actually. But anyway, on the Fox channel they kept every time they show that song, black screen like this, black screen. I'm like, fuck off, Fox. Like seriously.
And they've been mutilating the older videos, from my understanding, on Peacock. Like, they've been editing stuff out constantly.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I remember the WrestleMania watch all we did with Tino. I think it was the one with Hogan and Warriors.
WrestleMania 6, yeah. They edited out.
Yeah, you didn't get the Piper match. I did though. Well, in Canada, basically, if you're not in the States, you still get the WWE Network until like January. But because I remember, I was like, because it had the Piper interview. Because I think Tino said they were on the match after the Piper match. I was like, wait a minute, did you guys miss the Piper match? And then you're both like, Peacock cocked it out.
Well, it's funny because I told him ahead of time. I'm just like, just so you know, I know they're editing stuff out, and this match is on here. And from my understanding, it's been edited out. I could be wrong. And I clarified why it was edited out, so he knew.
Piper's half blackface. That's why they edited it out.
Yep.
I was like,
that's why I think certain thing, and that's why I believe in hard copies. It's funny. I think on Facebook Marketplace. Remember the old WrestleMania? It was like 1 through 25 or something like that. The WrestleMania collection.
Oh, the DVD. Yeah. I seen that too. I saw the first 25 because I think they were promoting like 30 or something. So they're doing like the first.
Yeah, 5. I don't remember how far back it goes, but I almost bought it because I remember a long time. I'm all about hard copies, but also I've been saying for a long time, wrestling, video games, music, whatever it is. You see it in Best Buy, you see it in Target, you see it in Walmart. They're getting rid of physical media. So buy physical media, support physical media. I know it's a lot, But if you like something, buy it so this doesn't happen. But I almost bought that. That was my little ramble there. So yeah, I am excited to see now what happened. I was like, if I'm cool to go on Netflix, whatever.
Yeah.
But if we got no censors and the product is good now, imagine what they don't have to worry about.
I think I've seen someone promote. I think I don't know if this was official. Well, the uncensored that part was official, but I think the other people list I've seen so like Raj go back 2 hours, which please go back to 2 hours. Like I get like Raw's been like great on and off the last year, but like the 3 hours, it's like oh my god. There's times I'm like, oh, this feels like a fucking chore. Because for me, it starts at 9. Like for you and Scott, it's 8, but I'm an hour ahead anyway. And it goes till midnight, so technically for me, it's like Monday, and it stops right at midnight, so technically it hits Tuesday. Like the cutoff time is Tuesday. I was like, yeah, can we maybe start earlier, maybe?
And that's you. Keep in mind, and I understand from your perspective, but like also imagine like the guys over in England, especially like Cultaholic, because we got a lot. I think some of the best wrestling news comes from the UK.
Oh my god, it's like Tuesday for them. I think.
Then they're dropping their content like that morning for us.
Yep.
So they're pretty much working overnights.
Yeah, I can't see. Okay then. Well, mine. I'm just, but them. Like I feel like I had a friend. He visited up there and he was watching wrestling, and he was taking like our like Canadian time, right? And he's like, "Huh, it's not on." I'm like, "Bro, you're in the UK." He's like, "Oh fuck, it's like 1 a.m. God damn it! I'll just watch in the morning." He literally couldn't stay up to what he was trying to, but he fell asleep. He's like, "I'm just gonna record watching the next day in his hotel room." I'm like, you know what? I don't blame. I don't know how the UK and the international people do that. Fucking 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. It's basically like Tuesday for them. Tuesday morning Raw or Saturday morning SmackDown. Oh look, that actually worked.
Oh yeah. So there were a couple other things, and I don't know if I want to talk about them because we're recording this later than I want to, or earlier than we want to. If it was a little later on the week, I'd say yes. I mean, obviously, we got the Shane McMahon rumor right now where he's talks to people in AEW. I don't know if that's going to come to fruition. It might. I mean,
I'll believe that when I see that.
Yeah, I mean, he's no longer with the company. I mean, that's just recent. Could he just be? I almost think he wants nothing to do with wrestling. Not in a bad way. Not like I hate it, this and that. Maybe I don't know if he wants to be like this is just not my forte.
No,
and I'm too old to do what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to see any McMahon something. Like, no disrespect to Shane, but I don't really want to see him in AEW. Let's just be honest.
It would be shocking. It would be quite the shock if he showed up, though.
It would be. Oh my god, McMahon fucking on AEW. Holy shit. Well, speaking of AEW, do you want to do quick picks for the Owen Hart tournaments?
We can. I mean, this is going to drop on Monday. The 1st.
Canada Day for me, baby.
So let's see. Owen Hart Cup.
So spoiler, right quick. So we know the women's. So we know one semifinal match. The Deanna Hikaru Shida match is on Collision this Saturday, but obviously when it drops, we would know who goes to semifinals. And same for the men's for the Battle of the Dragons. That's at Forbidden Door actually on Sunday. So by next Monday, we would know at least half the fields for each one. But the mystery person, I'll just go first for the Jeff Jarrett. I'm gonna say Hangman Page, honestly, for the men's side, and I think it comes down to him and Hangman. They also did Hangman win in the finals, and Hangman wins that one. For the women's, I'm going to say Mariah May. Say that 15 times fast. And I'm going to say Statlander, but I don't think Mariah wins clean. I think Willow fucks her over. Or if they want to put Willow back to back, see if she can become a 2-time winner. I think Mariah wins with the help of Chris Statlander. So I don't think she wins cleanly. That's what I'm trying to get out of that.
Interesting. All right.
Those are my picks. What do you got?
I would argue I'm gonna be conservative here, and I think Hangman Page is a good choice. We haven't seen him in a bit. For the men's, I want to say the finals will be Jay White.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's on Dynamite this Wednesday, as we're recording this.
Jay White and it's either going to be Pack or Bryan Danielson.
I like Shingo, but he's not getting past the first round.
No.
That's why we are doing Forbidden Door predictions sometime this week. So, but that'll be dropped.
I'm going to say it's Bryan Danielson wins. I know it's a real long shot, but I mean, he's on his way out. And I think the company, if this is him saying I'm no longer going to be full-time, give him something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you know what? It's hard to disagree with you. The only thing I could see happening a little differently, though, with the women's, though, Mariah May loses because of Tony.
Ooh, all right. Oh, who? The Statlander?
No, I'm going to say Willow. I'm going to go with the Willow 2-time because for some reason...
Ooh, okay. All right. I like that. I would not be mad, though, but I think Mariah needs him more because, I mean, obviously Willow won it last year, and I think the feud between Statlander and her is not over, so I think the other one, basically. But Mariah doesn't win cleanly. That's what I'm trying to say. But I think it's going to be Mariah and Tony in the finals at Wembley because remember the winner gets a shot at each brand for fuck's sakes, each of their divisions titles. That's what I'm trying to say.
Interesting. So it could be Pac. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, get the.
Hey, they're in his home country, so I mean, but I don't think Pac gets past Bryan Danielson. Honestly, I am excited for him and Shingo though at Forbidden Door. Bryan Danielson, Shingo. We called that too. We called that. We just didn't know it was gonna be at Forbidden Door.
Yes. Well, a lot we talked about here. A lot's gonna if WWE continues this trend and if things continue to go the way it is, we will have this conversation. You know, we might go back to weekly because that was the fun thing. I think a couple years back, where so much was going on. We would talk about things weekly, guys. Before we leave, couple things. Obviously, by the time this is dropped, Forbidden Door is coming on. Make sure you check out that, our go home show, our post show. We're in July. Expect to hear from Ethan and I. G1.
G1.
We're gonna have our when we drop it, we'll let you guys know. Definitely listen to it. We're gonna keep this up. I'm excited. I'm actually pretty pumped.
Stardom also has to fight. Oh, that's in August. Sorry, disregard. Keep going. Sorry.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say Stardom. I forgot it's in August this year, not July. Because sometimes when they do their 5-star Great Prix, it's mostly July, like going in the summer. So I'm like, no, it's in August this year. So disregard. Sorry.
Yeah. So guys, if you don't already do so, please make sure you follow us on Twitter or X at Above the Ring. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Above the Ring and Bedlam Media. Don't forget to follow us there as well. You'll find me as the SOB Official, Scott as Scotty J Stream, and Ethan as Wrestling_fan_9.
Yeah.
We're on all streaming platforms. If you can't find us, please let us know. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review. Tell people why Bedlam Media and Above the Ring, ATR is War, is the podcast if you're choosing and why they choose as well. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And as always, do not forget to join the Bedlam.